Happy Tuesday to you and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, a specific finding that always shocks me is the fact that South Africa has the highest rate of obesity in Sub-Saharan Africa. And to make matters even worse, this percentage of obese and overweight South Africans is increasing. Now, the University of Western Cape conducted a study to find out what the perceptions are of body size, obesity risk awareness and willingness to lose weight among black adult South Africans. And the results were quite interesting. And we're joined this morning by Emeritus Professor Thandi Puoane from UWC, who was part of the research team to talk to us. Thank you for being here, Professor.
Good to have you, Professor. It's so nice that my alma mater is doing such amazing research, so it's good to have you here. I wanted to know, first and foremost, what was the aim of the results? What were you hoping to achieve through this study?
Okay, thank you for inviting me to present these findings. This was part of a bigger study, which involves 23 countries. It's a global study. It involves 23 countries at different levels of development. That is middle, upper, and lower income countries, and South Africa being the middle income country. The aim was to identify people who develop risk factors for cardiovascular diseases and look at the context, what is happening around them. So we enrolled people between the ages of 35 and 70, and we are following them over many years. And we're collecting their measurements. And one of the measurements that we're collecting is height and weight, and we calculate their body mass index. And then we also invited women who are overweight, normal weight, and obese, just to tell us about what they think about obesity, whether they think obesity is a risk factor for cardiovascular diseases. Even those who are of normal weight, we asked them, if they gained a little bit of weight, do they think will be at risk for cardiovascular diseases?
Yeah, and in keeping with exactly that point that you just made now, I understand that one of the findings was that among the women who were overweight, some of them actually, when they were asked questions, confessed to not only being content with being overweight, but they believed that being overweight equaled happiness or being happy. Why do you think that is?
That's right. If you are overweight, you are not sick. So you don't feel there's anything wrong. And our culture, our society, value roundness. So the woman in our culture is attractive if she's being round, she's well dignified, and she, the husband is usually praised that she's able to support the wife.
Wow.
So that's the norm. Unless you're sick, you don't feel that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I think that the world is moving towards like accepting curvy people, and it's not something that's seen as bad. But there's a difference between being curvy and unhealthy. What do you think it says about South Africans? Are we just unhealthy in general?
Yes, we're unhealthy in general. We are having the problem of cardiovascular disease or non-communicable diseases. The number of people suffering from those diseases is increasing. Diabetes, hypertension. You go to the health facilities, there are many people who go there on a daily basis. And one of the risk factors is obesity.
Yeah. And you were saying earlier on to us during the break that part of the intent of the study is to have policymakers change their minds and their perceptions on how they look at this problem. But what can we as individuals and the broader society do to address this problem?
Well, people live in the environment. So the environment is not healthy. It doesn't help people to make healthy choices. There is access to unhealthy food. There is poor facilities for exercises for some of the people. But I think as an individual, we need to start teaching our children that you don't have to be round to be well-respected. You don't have to be round to be healthy. And make healthy food available at the school. We need to start with the younger children so that when they grow up, they learn to exercise. Physical activity is one of the problems. To eat healthy, and the parents also should be involved.
Yeah. Professor Puoane, thank you so much for joining us and sharing the interesting findings of that study. And it all starts with a good breakfast at the beginning of the day. Nutritious, healthy, good breakfast to get your day started. Well, at the end of the day, it is all about information, and knowledge is power. And later on, Dr. Darren Green will take a look at the way we as South Africans view food, and also how things like sugar tax will have an impact on the health of our nation.